Working while experiencing the symptoms of a complex dissociative disorder can come with its own set of challenges. Let's get into it. So we started a new job this week and thought this might be a good opportunity to discuss what work might be like for someone with a complex dissociative disorder and how to best manage symptoms as they arise. So, unfortunately, your symptoms are not going to take a break while you are at work. Some systems will be better at remaining functioning through their symptoms than others. But every system will experience at least some symptoms at work at some point. If these symptoms are potentially going to hinder your performance at work, it may be good to talk to your supervisors about accommodations, or simply let them know about the symptoms so that they are aware that they may occur. You don't need to tell them that the symptoms specifically come from a complex dissociative disorder, though, and you can leave out any details that aren't necessary. Many of those with complex dissociative disorders have comorbid disorders that are commonly associated with or can cause dissociation, such as autism, ADHD, and other trauma-related disorders. That may be a more commonly accepted disorder to pin your symptoms on, if you don't want to mention that you have a complex dissociative disorder. Though you may want to do some research on the overlap with dissociation so that you can better explain it. Legally, as complex dissociative disorders are a disorder, no job is allowed to discriminate against you because of it. That doesn't mean that people won't have biases or there might be more social repercussions for telling others. Therefore, it may be good in some cases to keep the number of people who know small, or to not tell anyone. It's up to your discretion who you tell, and you are not required to tell anyone unless your symptoms may cause significant danger to yourself or others if you were put in a specific role at your job. But you can check out our video on tips for telling others if you decide to do so up here. So, what are some potential struggles that may come up at work? And what might be good ways to handle them? Let's start with the most obvious symptom, dissociation. It can be good to have a plan for what to do to ground if you get too dissociated. It may be good to work on a set of grounding skills that work without physical objects being present, such as breathing exercises or 5-4-3-2-1 grounding, in case you don't have access to your usual grounding objects at work. But also simple things like having warm or cool beverages, interacting with any objects that happen to be around you, or repeating things like your name or the date in your head can also be beneficial for grounding. So, now what about amnesia? If you tend to forget things a lot due to dissociation or have amnesia between parts, it can be good to write things down. You may want to get a smaller notebook that can easily fit in your pocket or bag, that you can easily keep with you, where you write down the most important information that all alters will need to know to do the job. Also, if others at your job know about the amnesia, even if you haven't explained why it exists, do not be afraid to ask for help. Triggers can always happen in the workplace, and you should be prepared for this. It may be good to look for places where potential triggers may occur and have a plan in place for if they do occur. Where can you go to be safe from the situation? How can you ground in the present moment if it triggers a past memory? Knowing and looking at the best options while you are calm can help you respond better if something does occur that triggers something negative. It can also be good to track them when possible so you know what to prepare for. Some systems have a set of alters that typically front for work or are better at work-related tasks. If you don't know who in your system might be good for fronting at work, it may be good to try to figure that out in advance and do your best to communicate with those alters to have them front at work whenever possible. But, of course, you can't always predict which alters will be out at work. So, it would be good for all of the common fronters, at the very least, to learn the basics of how to do the job. Again, this is where writing things down may be beneficial, so that anyone who fronts has somewhere to look for the basics of what they are expected to be doing during work hours. There may be some alters that make things difficult because they are unwilling to do the necessary tasks. It is important to try to communicate and compromise with these alters whenever possible. Remind them why having a job is important, and offer potential things you could get for them with the money that they earn, or set aside time for them to do the things that they would enjoy outside of work hours if possible. It is good to have some sort of routine at your job when possible. The more things that are predictable, the less likely small things that go wrong throughout the day will be overwhelming. A routine can help minimize the chances of a stressor occurring. And I know this can be hard for trauma survivors, but when possible, know your limits and communicate them. Don't take on more work than anyone else at your job, and burn yourself out trying to please others and avoid telling anyone no. No, or I'm not sure I will be able to do that, will be valid responses in some cases, especially when it goes beyond the normal job expectations. Just be sure to still take care of yourself. But I think that is all of the points I had to talk about coping with the symptoms of a complex dissociative disorder at work. If you have any questions or want to share your experiences and what has worked for you, feel free to leave those in the comments down below. It would be great if you liked the video if you liked it, and subscribe to see more content like this. If you would like to learn more about dissociation, you can check out our video up here. Or if you would like to learn more about complex dissociative disorders in general, you can check out our playlist down here. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.